Hello, welcome to our today's video. This video I'm doing it from my past experience. Before I became a lecturer, I was a maths and physics teacher for 9 years. So today I want to give you some of the tips that I learned on how we can be able to do maths. I know many students do not like maths. I had the same challenge when I was younger, but as I grew to teach students, it became easy because I came to realize that the reason why people fear maths or why they think maths is hard is because they did not understand the concepts. And I hope at the end of the 3 clips, because I choose to do this in 3 parts, is that you're going to be able to demystify some of the things that we normally think that are related to maths. So we're going to start by our introduction on how to use our textbook. Now remember that maths, how you learned maths in primary school, is the same concept that actually goes to the next level at secondary school. So I hope this video will be relevant to students who are in primary level and even in secondary level. And I also encourage parents to view this video because they can be able to help their children in studying maths. It's not hard, you will see. So in this video, I want to show you that our textbooks that we use to teach students, or the textbooks that the students use in school, actually have an introduction part that highlights the concepts, explains the concepts, and even gives examples before we go to the exercise. So what do I mean by that? Let me pick a simple book like Standard Form. So we have this book, you can see, Spotlight Class 4. So I want to show you that the textbook normally has an introduction to every part of maths that you're learning at that level. So in this book, you want to see topic 1. You see? I don't know if you can be able to see that. Topic 1 is talking about whole numbers, and it introduces it by showing us place value. Place value. So we are able to see that a place value has been given a definition, that it represents the position of a digit in a given set of numbers, and it shows you how to put that, and actually gives you an example on how to actually do a sum that is related to doing the place values. Let me pick a higher level book, for example a Standard 8 book, Understanding Maths. So let me see that. So we have the first topic, whole numbers, and I'll tell you why. You see, this one does not have an introduction part, but I'll give you the reason in later clips. But there is an example that has been given. With even the steps on how to do them. You see that? So in each topic it comes like that. There is an introductory part and actually builds on to giving you examples on how to address that. Let me pick a different topic, maybe in the same book. Let me pick even the last topic, which is geometry. So geometry is on page 179. So let's go to page 179. Geometry. So it's starting by telling us that we have to learn about how to inscribe a circle in a triangle. So there are practical activities, and then later at the bottom part there is how you can do it by construction. So it gives you the steps. Part A, draw any triangle ABC, how you do it. B, how to bisect the angles, and then it proceeds and even shows you after that what do you do in terms of steps. repeat the construction, and then finally to the exercises. So what is the point of telling you that? Maths in itself, when you're introducing a new concept, now that goes also for teachers, you have to introduce it in a manner that someone can understand it. You see, like in this book, Standard 8 is a higher level of maths in comparison to someone who is teaching maths at this level. So these concepts normally tie one on top of the other. By introducing in Standard 4 fractions, then later as the student is progressing, you introduce them to simplifying fractions. So that is why sometimes they assume that you have been able to understand the concepts at a lower level so that you're able to understand concepts at a higher level. So maths is about building blocks. But as much as you're building blocks, if you have a problem with simplifying fractions, maybe the problem would trace back to understanding the original concept of what a fraction is. So the point is that as you study maths, you need to find out where is it and at which level was this concept being learned, and actually go through the simple steps that have been given to understand that concept. You have a problem with fractions, then seek to go to the place which has fractions in that level. Even if you are in Standard 8 and the fractions are being dealt with in Standard 4, consult the Standard 4 book, understand the concepts of fractions, how we write fractions, what we mean by fractions as a representation of a whole. And then you go building on to Standard 5, book 6, 7, and by the time you're getting to your textbook Standard 8, you have already understood the concept. But this one we're going to deal with in our next topic in building concepts in maths. So I want to show you again the same concept now at a secondary level. Now this part is where I encourage most people that it doesn't matter if you're poor or you were poor, in maths in primary level, because in secondary it actually gives you another chance. What do I mean by that? Let's look at a Form 1 book. So I have one here, a common book which we have used in maths, KLB book 1. So the first topic natural numbers, and actually see place values. Where did we see place values? And even the definition for place values. Look at this. Where we have defined a place value. The position of a digit in a number is called place value. Where did we see that in the first place? Book 4. Book 4. Page number. Page number 1. Where we saw place value is actually represent the position of a digit in a given set of numbers, you see. So there is always another chance to relearn maths again at whichever level it is. So again, the same concept I was giving when I was explaining about those who are struggling with maths at a primary level is the same way. Even in secondary, you really need to understand the fundamentals that are in Form 1 for you to be able to understand the concepts that are in Form 2. So you use the textbook the same way. Let's pick even another different topic. We can use the last topic in Form 1 book. Common solids. So 271 is the page. So we go to page 271 and actually see whether the introduction is the same and it is something that someone can actually read. Look, you see, introduction, and it actually tells you that a solid is an object which occupies space and has a definite or fixed shape. Solids are either regular or irregular. You see, even if I did not know what common solids were, by this time when I'm reading my textbook, I can be able to tell what common solids are because the definition has been given there. And actually even gives you the shape. See that? Tells you what a cube is. Remember, this is book 1. I'm using book 1. Book 1, Form 1. So even before I get, you can see other shapes that are here. And it actually explains for me what vertices are, what edges are, what faces are, and so on and so forth. So by the time I get to do an exercise that is down here, telling me how many faces, edges, and vertices does a cuboid have, I can actually go back to what a cuboid was. This was their cuboid, and I've actually given the name, the cuboid, and I can actually use it to do the examples that are here. So what am I driving at? You who is studying maths, or a parent who is helping a student to study maths, I encourage you, pick the textbook that they use. Why am I saying pick the textbook that they're using? It is because of this. This same textbook, if this is the book that I was using to teach this level, my guidebook as a teacher or my answer book is in line with what is here. So the questions that are here and the examples that are here are in the same manner, or they have been written in the same way as my teacher's guide. So the same way you're going to read the concepts or study the concepts here with your child, or you who is studying, will be the same way that the teacher would have taught when they're teaching it in class. So go with the student step by step, or read the concept step by step, and you can actually understand. Then when you get to examples, this is what I encourage you to do. Look at the question which they have given. Let me pick an example. Let me even pick an example from a different book that we have not seen. Maybe a book 2, Maths. Topic 1, cube and cube roots. So there is the cube definition for cubes. So they're telling us that cubes, it means if it's 2 cubed, it means 2 times 2 times 2. It's there. 3 cubed means 3 times 3 times 3. It's there. So by the time I get to the example, see the example. Question is, what is the value of 5 cubed? So when I see that question, I go back to the definition of what cubes were, and I actually ask myself, what did I read cubes were? So that by the time I get to the solution, 5 cubed would mean 5 times 5 times 5. 5 squared is 25 times 5, and I actually get 125. Then example 2, what is the cube of 1.4? So I can actually hide this part and ask myself, am I able to get 1.4 cubed? You see, simple. So by the time you get to the exercise, if you've been given homework, you can actually use your textbook to actually revise what you have learned. So I hope I have demystified something about the textbook. Don't fear your textbook. The textbook that has been written for you to use is actually friendly to your level. The people who wrote the book were actually thinking on how to write this book for you to understand it, and even for the teacher to use, because us as teachers, we normally use the same textbook to teach you. So we will understand the concepts the same way. And remember, practice makes perfect. You have to read a concept, do the example, do another example, do another exercise. The more you do it, the more it is engraved in your mind. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.